Hello and welcome. I'm Kevin Kaufman.
I'm Harry Fletcher.
And this is Universi-Tea.
This is a podcast where we go to different schools each episode, and we have the students there spill the tea about their time and experiences at those schools.
Yes, while we drink tea.
Yes.
In this episode, we interview 3 of our friends from UMBC about their experiences at the school.
Yeah, so that's everything you need to know, and we hope you enjoy it, and thank you for listening.
Learn how them schools be with Universi-Tea. Tea time with Kevin and Harry. Our first guest, Eddie.
That's me.
Our first school, UMBC,
Yes.
also known as...
University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Yes.
And this is our first episode, so we both thought it would be a good idea if we were sick for it.
Yeah.
So
we're
excuse
both
that.
very sick.
And let's get into it.
Eddie is actually a friend of ours because this is our own school.
That's correct.
So we thought we'd start the podcast with our own school as like a basis
Exactly.
and then move on from there. So Eddie, we're just gonna interview you since we think you have pretty interesting viewpoints on the on University of Maryland, Baltimore County. You got a lot to say?
Oh yeah, I got. Ask away.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, I think it'd be good if we just start off with maybe synopsis of how the past few days have been for you.
All right, so past few days, we'll go with the week. All right, because UMBC really starts out with Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Because that's commuters come in usually either Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday and Wednesday, and then Fridays are usually a lot more dead because of classes. Like again, they try to go Tuesday and Thursday. So I would say my week exams started. Like a lot of exams are starting this week and then next week. So it's a lot of cram sessions. The library is full. So yeah, I had my first exam on Friday for physics. Pretty cool. And then the campus had an event on Friday called Dogapalooza.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was, it's one of those small events where there's just a few mini things to do, but it was pretty cool.
On the big field, right?
On the big field,
Yeah.
Erickson Field. Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the size of students here? Like, what do you think? It's a closed campus, right?
During the weekdays, it is quite...
Yeah.
It's populated. Commons, in Commons we have this row of tables with flags above it, and there's always people sitting there at all times of the day, always people getting food. So it's a busy campus during the weekdays.
Yeah.
Then Saturday hits, and if you drop a pin on one side of the circle, you can hear it on the other. So.
all right. So let's get into this.
All right.
What happens on Friday, Eddie? What exactly?
What happens on Friday? Well, I think from my experience, either parties happen Thursday night, because again, commuters, that's usually their final day, so they'll party Thursday night, or there'll be parties Friday night. Then usually Saturday, Sundays are for the boys, which means you play video games or do homework.
Wait, parties where though?
I don't know. There's barely any parties. It's not like other campuses where you literally walk down the street and there's 3 parties.
Yeah.
You really have to you have to have a no, you have to have an in.
Yeah, you have to know.
Yeah.
And if you don't have an in and you just walk up to the party, if you're not on the list, you can't get in.
Yeah. That's a problem with the closed campus, I think, as well, because, we can't exactly have parties in dorm. I mean, you can have dorm parties, but you can't, have, a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then, it's hard to get off campus because, the campus is very closed, very staff-heavy. On the weekends, you might be able to get away with it just because there's no one here. So you might be able to
and quiet hours goes until 1. So if, you go to Walker Hill, where there's more 21 people, then they're not going to be like, why are you drinking? So if you want to party, Walker Hill is where you go.
Not that we advocate for any of that.
Not that we advocate for illegal activities, like underage drinking.
But if it were to happen, not that we're saying that it does, it would happen at Walker.
If on campus, yeah.
On campus, yeah. But it doesn't really happen on campus, so that's
it doesn't.
I've never experienced it.
Yes.
No, because...
all right, so let's get into the food, I think, because every campus is known for having a reputation for their food. Usually, it's a bad reputation. We have to keep that in mind as well. So, not that we can compare it to many other universities because we haven't had food at those other places that'll really come into play once we start interviewing people from other schools.
Well,
but let's get started on maybe giving us the worst place you could possibly go to get food on campus and the best place you could go to get food on campus. And that includes the dining hall.
Best place? I said Einstein's earlier, but I feel like the Halal Shack is really good. It's a new food place on campus that it's pretty smack. All right. Worst? Ooh,
We also use this with we kind of the rating scale we use a lot is with what you can get for a meal swipe because you can get some stuff for flex, which is like $90 extra that you can use at any time.
Yeah, depending on your meal plan, you have flex dollars which you can then add to. I would say.
But I mean, Halal Shack you can get a good amount for a meal swipe still.
Yeah,
I was putting
chicken
that out there.
And all that. I would say if we're going based on what you can get for a meal swipe. I really there's two restaurants on my mind that I'm really debating. So there's Mondo's, all right.
Are the worst. That's the worst.
Worst. Yeah. We're talking worst. Mondo's is a sub place.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how the actual name is, but I just call it Bim Bim Bop. All right.
Beep
Boop Bop.
Beep Bop Boop.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. How to
it's
say
Korean.
It.
Yeah.
It's Korean trash. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I would say those two. If I really had to choose right now, I would say Mondo's is worse.
Dang.
Okay.
So living quarters. Let's talk about what it's like. Because Harry and I never. So the dorms are pretty much set up in a way here that there is there's regular dorms like in college, which you would expect, right? Which is like a decently sized room with 2 beds and 1 sink, and then there's a door that opens up to a bathroom, and then in the bathroom there's a small bathroom and the toilet's right next to the shower. And then there's another door. And that other door opens up to another room with 2 beds and a sink. So you share just a sink and a bathroom. Those are the regular dorms, which you lived in last year, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to describe your experience with those or like?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty normal. I think mostly living quarters, the room doesn't matter as much as the roommate. So I got lucky and I got a really good roommate.
Yeah.
Like I know your roommate sucked last year, but but like mine was really good. So I didn't have any problems because it really helps when you just go walk into your room and you don't have to like battle with somebody. You can just vent to them or whatever. But overall room, 2 beds, that's fine. The sink, it's weird, but you get used to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you doing bodily function, like shaving or something in front of your roommate. Like the first time, you're like, when you just see, then like by the end of the semester, you're like, whatever, I don't give a crap. Like
I still haven't shaved at school.
I've only shaved. I mean, I have an electric one, so it's not much of a challenge to shave.
Oh dang! It's not a challenge for Harry.
It's not a challenge for me to shave.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
I
know
baby face.
Because by the end of the semester, you get comfortable enough where you're like, do you want me to shave you too?
Yeah.
Like, I know, so we started shaving our roommates. No, I'm just kidding. That's a lie. But I was gonna the one downside I think about having the sink in the dorm is that you get poop hands on the doors all the time. So like you have to open a door before you go to the sink. So like you just got poop hands on the doors at all times.
Yeah,
that's the one thing. But I think the only thing to that, especially the bathroom, is when you open the door. You're going to wash your hands. You're going to wash after. Yeah. And then you'll never open the door unless you're a weirdo that like walks through to go to your suite mates.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you're always going to. So I see that. But then we have another kind of room, which is the room that we're all living in now, which is the same 2-bed in a slightly smaller room. Right. With a sink.
Would you call this room smaller? We're in this other type of room right now.
This room is definitely a lot smaller than the one I lived in was Chesapeake.
Okay. Right.
It's a lot. It's a smaller, not incredibly smaller, but it was. And then there's a sink in the bedroom. Then you walk out to a common space that has a bathroom in it.
Yes.
And then a bedroom again, just like ours, 2 beds with a sink.
Yeah. So the only difference is that instead of walking through the door into the bathroom, you're walking through the door into a living room where you and your suite mates can meet up, and then the bathroom is a separate door.
Yeah. And so then now your poop hands has more
That's the
more
thing.
precedence.
It does, yeah.
So your poop hands see every time you go to the bathroom. There's no sink in the bathroom, which there's no sink in like any bathroom except for the handicap bathrooms, like are like across the hall. They have a sink in the bathroom, but like,
Cool.
we got every time we open our door, we know that that's the poop hand handle because you just gotta go right from the
So
bathroom
wait,
to the sink here.
Do you guys not leave your door open?
Not all the
This
time.
door?
Yeah. Well,
No.
when you go to the bathroom.
It depends.
It depends. Like, what if like sometimes we close it. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
When
Or
you
what-
go to the bath. Like,
What if we like come inside from the dorm and then just go right to the bathroom without thinking about opening the door?
That's fair.
Exactly.
But I
Stuff
feel like
that.
that's the one edge case.
But like if you got poop hands doors, you just got poop hand doors. You know what I mean? There's nothing to do about it.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why I've been advocating for us to start going to the bathroom with the door open.
Oh, you have? You never told me that.
Well, I'm starting now.
All right, let's like wipe it off.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just wipe the handle, and then when you go to the bathroom, just leave the door open. That way, you don't have to touch your
And the
main
bathroom door as well.
Oh, and the bathroom door.
Well,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
While we go to the bathroom, we leave the bathroom door open.
That way so we don't have to touch the bathroom door handle.
Yeah,
with our
well,
dirty hands.
yeah. Why not? We all just walk around.
Yeah.
Might as well all just walk around completely naked.
Yeah.
Just go to the bathroom whenever
Why
we
not?
want to. So we don't have to. That way you don't have to take off your clothes either, right?
Yeah.
Because then you have poop clothes and you have to pull
Oh
off
my
your clothes.
god, you're right, dude.
So
Oh my god, you're
might
right.
as well.
I never thought of that.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
So is that living quarter? I think we covered living quarters well enough.
All right, yeah, but what else is there to cover? Let's see.
Well,
The
we-
events. That's like we were just talking about the event that happened yesterday.
Right.
Dogapalooza.
Well, there were two things, yeah. Well, the Dogapalooza was organized by the school, yeah.
But can we
it was
explain
no,
what
it
that
was
is
it was
exactly? It
organized
wasn't
by
organized
the
by the
RSA.
Let's
Well,
explain
that's
what.
part of-
Let's
that's
explain
the
what that
school,
is.
though.
That's kind of
Well,
confusing.
okay.
It's a confusing sounding thing.
Okay, RSA is
Or
resident
Dogapalooza, I mean.
student.
What exactly was Dogapalooza?
It was a bunch of small events. Like there was a petting zoo, free ice cream, free Italian
I
ice.
heard there were
was,
corgis.
Yes, there were corgis.
Dude, I love
At the
corgis.
I
petting zoo?
refuse to pet corgis. So
You refuse?
Yeah,
Why?
because the Shiba Inu is the best.
Oh.
dog.
Shiba Inus are good too, but corgis are adorable.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree. But we can
Yeah.
talk about that in a different
That's the real
podcast.
Universi-Tea.
Yeah, I will argue that the Shiba Inu is the superior dog.
Fun fact: there were some people in Harbor last year that just had a cat,
Yeah.
In Chesapeake, there was an emotional support animal for a dog.
but I don't think it was an emotional support cat. They just
Yeah.
like smuggled a cat in.
I don't know about smuggled. I don't know if I'd use that word.
Yeah,
They just kind of had
it
it
does
here.
sound kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
yeah.
So, what did you need to bring a dog for Dogapalooza? Why was it called that?
Because our
There were just dogs you could
Because-
pet. Is that
So,
yeah, wait,
I
were they
don't-
people's
do-
dogs?
you haven't been here a lot, so our mascot is called the Chesapeake Bay Retriever. And so the Chesapeake Bay Retriever is part of a dog. Like, so that's the type of dog. Like, we were just talking
Right.
about corgis and Shiba Inus. Chesapeake Bay Retriever is one of those. So our mascot is a dog. And so Dogapalooza was event based on our mascot, not because there
Okay.
were dogs there.
Were there were there Chesapeake Bay Retrievers?
I don't think so.
Did people
That's
bring their
kinda-
own
That's kind of
dogs?
messed up.
No.
Okay.
It was a student event. If you have a dog here, then
No, they just went to the pound and said, "Can we borrow some dogs?"
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. That'd be
You know
kind of
some weird
something
story
like that,
was?
wouldn't it?
It's not that weird, but when we were walking the Einsteins one day, I think it was
very weird.
the morning one day, we were walking past the library, and there are the windows into it,
Mhm.
and the mascot was just sitting there alone.
The mascot?
And then we walked past, and I looked back at it like,
With
what?
the outfit on, with the
Yeah.
head and everything.
And I looked back, and then they waved to me. And then I waved back, but I just thought that was strange that they were just sitting there alone.
Yeah, the mascot's
But,
actually a full-time job, like 24/7, so they're not ever allowed to
Yeah,
shower.
You're not allowed to
anything.
take off the uniform.
Exactly. Yeah. But like the thing about the events is that was cool that it happened. But how often do those events really happen? Would you say?
I think if you look for them, every weekend.
Okay, but that
Yeah.
was a big one. That was one. There's this field called Erickson Field, and it's everybody sees Erickson Field.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to walk past Erickson Field to go anywhere.
You don't have to look for an Erickson event. Like you'll
No,
find it.
You'll see it.
Other events that might be in like the rack, which is like the place where all the weights are, all the gyms are, all that stuff.
I went to the rack today.
Eddie goes there, hard iron,
Oh, yeah.
crafts some
Lift some boys.
blacksmith
Oh, yeah.
swords.
3 iron. 2 iron, 1 stick. That's my shit, bro.
That's all you need. Get some wood.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So our school has sports teams. I know this is a test.
Yeah, I thought where's our football team? That's another thing. We don't have a football team.
Well, they're undefeated.
Oh,
Our football team? Undefeated.
Yeah, I guess they're 0-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's just facts.
Yeah.
But our main sports team is the basketball team.
Yes. Yeah, they're actually... So we've been to a few of those games.
They are hype.
Are there any other teams that we have that are good?
I don't really follow sports.
I think the soccer
team's pretty good.
Is okay.
The
Yeah.
chess team
One of the
has
best
been
in the country.
stomped to the ground and pushed in the closet and said, well, we don't look at that anymore. They don't
Why?
make us
Because they lost?
Oh, no, because the basketball team won.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, because before the basketball team, the Freeman Hrabowski, our president, would have been like, chess team? Now he's like, guess what? 16 years ago, UVA lost to us. And everyone's like, that was 16 years ago. No one cares. Like, that was our one claim to fame.
So if you have heard of UMBC before, if you're listening from somewhere far away, which I don't know, but like, yeah, we're the team that was a 16 seed.
Yeah.
And beat the number 1 seed, the only school to do that ever, UMBC.
Very true.
And I believe that I want to say the application rate went up because of that.
It probably
did.
did.
The percentage of acceptance and all that I think went down too.
Went down because there were so many people that applied because of that, and so that's their claim to fame all of a sudden. So they do not stop to advertise that they beat UVA that one time.
Yeah.
So there is a mural in the university or the event center. And so it takes up a full wall. It's like, hey, remember that one time that we beat UVA? Merch is still in the bookstore. Like, you can just,
ESPN put us on their news show.
There you go. We're practically famous.
Yeah.
Like,
at this point, I don't understand why our university's so dead.
Yeah, on weekends you would think that would. Apparently, I heard legend has it. I mean, that was the year before we came, but legend has it that the campus was partying all night.
Oh yeah.
The weekends, yeah.
No, that night.
Oh yeah.
The night we beat UVA.
100%.
You think so?
No
you think
doubt.
That's true? Yeah.
Syracuse, whenever they win a big game, it's lit.
Okay.
So I mean,
maybe that was a big win. That was a big win.
Oh yeah, and then we lost right after that. So,
But hey, you know what? It's not about losing. It's about flexing the win.
that one win.
Exactly. So
yeah,
UMBC actually pulled through that one time. Yeah.
That's so annoying. I hate hearing about it now.
Yeah.
The freshman year, first semester, I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing we did. Yeah, we're top shit. And now that I was a freshman second semester, I was not it. I was like, I don't really care. Like, I wasn't a part of this. Like, I don't understand the hype anymore. If you're talking about it, that it just looks bad on our school at this point because we're like, this is the only thing we've done.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about our amazing computer science program that you underfund? Why don't you talk about our chess team or our clubs or?
But there was someone that I was talking to from, I can't remember where. They were from a state far away, and I was like, I just go to this little school called UMBC, and they were like, oh yeah, UMBC, and I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, what? How
UMBC?
What do you mean?
It's because of that. Like, that actually did. Like, so okay, like, respect, but yeah. I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to tell the people about UMBC?
Don't come for parties. Come for an education.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to get your work done. It's,
a lot of people here, to be fair, are here to study.
Yes.
Like, if you want to get a good grade, if you want to pass, you can find people that want to do that.
Yeah.
You can find people in the RLC, which is the Retrieval Learning Center in the library, that are always studying. They have lots of tutoring hours. They have TA hours. They have office hours. If you want to get a good education, you want to pass, you want to get a good GPA, you can do that easily here.
You can do that here, and you can make your own fun here for sure. There is stuff to do. You just got to look for it. A lot of people, I think, come here and just expect the fun to come to them because so many opportunities happen on other campuses. Yeah. You definitely have to look on this campus, but you can definitely find it, I think.
You gotta get involved somehow with something.
Exactly. Like Harry's in Retriever Music Society.
Well, I'm in a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
Harry's the Republican Party. Oh, and the Democrat
Harry
Party.
joined the Democratic Club and the Republican Club just to see if they had beef. Did they have beef?
I don't know if they have beef, but I'll say this. I signed up for the Democrats right after the Republicans. No, sorry. I went to the Democrats, signed up, went to the Republicans after, and the Democrats never emailed me. So I think they saw me go, and then they took me off the list. So I'll say that. The Republican Club, though, really interesting. They had an event earlier this year over the Labor Day weekend where they were paying people to go down to North Carolina and campaign for this guy.
Wow.
And they'd pay for your food, your lodging, everything for a couple days.
That is actually...
That's
wow.
pretty cool.
So
Yeah.
if you are a Republican, you got to come to this school.
Please come to this
If you're a
school.
Republican, come to this school, as you're saying.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us,
no
Eddie.
problem. I
Thank you.
enjoyed it.
It was very good to hear your perspective on the ratings, and
Yeah.
maybe we can get you back again to compare you with to tell you what we
Yeah.
learned from the other schools.
Oh, yeah.
If we do keep doing this, it would a little down the line when we redo this episode, because the first one is probably not going to be that great. We can bring you on again.
If you come back like a year later to see
Yeah.
if my opinions have changed.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that first interview. That's our friend Eddie. Next up, we're interviewing our roommate Tim, and I think this one is good, so go ahead, give it a listen.
Our guest today is...
Tim.
Oh,
And
yeah.
his last name you're not going to get to know.
Yeah. Yes.
Not today, Internet.
Undisclosed information, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah. This week's school is UMBC. Still. Maybe, yes? Yeah.
Yes.
That part might get cut out, but let's...
So-
Today's college is UMBC, yes.
Okay, so the
Yes.
school that we're talking about today is the University of Maryland, Baltimore County,
Yeah.
UMBC,
Yep.
which is the school that Harry and I also go to.
Yep.
And Tim is actually our suite mate.
Yes.
Yes, I live very close to them. I was aware of the inner workings of this podcast from its very inception.
So,
I am honored to be here.
So he's kind of like... what's his name? It doesn't matter. Let's just get into
Nice
it. Yeah?
one. Thanks, that means a lot.
We're starting with UMBC so that if we go on to other schools, we'll have a basis so you can refer back to our college. This is what we know.
This is what we know.
Yes.
And speaking of what we know, let's get into student life.
All right.
All right.
So, the student life. Tim, can you explain to us how your student life experience has been broadly over the past year?
All right, so I'd say, I guess, in terms of the colleges that I've seen, which I guess is fairly limited to Maryland schools, UMBC's student life is pretty low-key. Not a whole lot of, partying out in the open. I've not seen too many people, stumbling around drunk or offering to get stoned with me, has
Well,
been...
actually,
Well,
on the first week, there was a guy
that's
who did
true.
offer
There
us-
was a man in a salmon polo shirt carrying a briefcase that tried to sell me Cinnamon and Toast Crunch edibles. He was very cordial when I told him no, though, and when I refused to give him my Snap information. So the student life is very friendly.
Yes. If you've seen this man, you go to UMBC.
Yeah, he was a very
Yeah.
business casual looking weed dealer.
Do you know what else I just heard today? This is a little side part. Apparently, I think it was you and I. We were together when that kid asked us to give him her ride back home. Do you remember that?
A ride back home.
A ride back home, back to his house, because he was on campus, but he was lost.
I don't think I was with you. What
Oh,
happened?
okay. Well, anyway,
Yeah, there's a lot of wayward boys at UMBC as well.
apparently that's part of a scam where he then takes you to a place and he has his friends who mug you.
Good for him.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's a weird
real
con.
entree-
What if you just
real-
don't? What if you take him somewhere else and then mug him?
They-
You're really starting off on the back foot with that scam. I'll get in your car and then I'll mug.
It's a never-ending cycle.
That's confidence. Yeah, I'll start off
But the joke's on him,
at the
right?
biggest disadvantage.
Because he gets in the car, and then all his friends are in that car already,
Maybe, yeah.
and
That's
then they go to their friends.
exactly. Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
I'm
he's-
gonna mug you by letting a stranger drive me
He's
wherever.
also a middle school student asking college kids.
Oh, I
Also,
did.
it was a young kid.
I did see a boy on campus. Is he trying to mug me? I was like,
might
am I
have
gonna
been.
get jumped by a bunch of
Might have been.
13-year-olds? All right. Well, that's a crucial part of the student life at UMBC is the boy crime.
Okay.
I also so. Most of my interactions with other students has been within my suite with Harry and Kevin, so that's been a lot of fun. The floor that we live on is an arts floor, so that's very friendly, but most of them are visual arts majors, and I'm a music major, so there's not a whole lot of crossover. The music department, although small, is pretty welcoming, so I've hung out a lot with them, done a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, overall, nothing too crazy, except for the occasional drug offer and mugging attempt.
Yeah, attempt. Yeah.
Yeah, would you say
Yeah.
most of your social interaction comes from classes here?
I suppose so. I mean, I guess there's people in the music department that I've never had class with that I interact with a lot, just because it is kind of like all in 2 or 3 hallways within one building where everybody has their
Gotcha.
classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly through classes, and again through the floor with you guys.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and similar names.
What?
People with the same name.
Oh yes, my best friend from the music department is also named Tim, and there's like 5 Tims in the UMBC music department. That's an important note on the student life.
If you're thinking about applying here, remember that.
Yeah, the absolute insane surplus of Tims.
If your name is Tim and you want to be the only Tim, then you're out of luck. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there will be some sort of arena style decision at the beginning of every semester.
Yeah.
So can you speak on the party life, or what would you describe as the party life?
Well, I'm a boring old man who plays the upright bass, so I've not been to many parties. I'd say the first actual party that I attended was last week, and it was to attend a gig that Harry was playing at. He plays drums in an indie band. We went to me and my girlfriend went to a pretty seedy house party that was a lot of fun. The air was thick with vape. The man brought a whole box of White Claws and just kind of left them on a living room table.
Claw is law.
Yeah, very well put. I mean, I suppose like any school, if you want booze, you can for sure get it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not in any fraternities. And again, as previously stated, I'm an old man, so I'm not seeking out too much action and excitement. So getting to one room full of weed and vape and White Claw was a good foot in the pond of the party scene. But that's probably about as far as I've experienced it.
It was enough secondhand for one night.
Exactly. I came out feeling thoroughly vaped.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much describes it. And also, so there I think I'd say there's 2 types of parties on campus. Pretty much there are maybe, and the way I like to describe it at some schools there are the kids that at some schools every kid parties hard every day.
Yes.
Like if we might go to UMD next week, and apparently for the first 2 weeks they partied every single day, like Monday through Friday, and that was like wow. And so here it's kind of like most kids actually don't party too hard, and they don't party at all or that often.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's either like the kids who do are usually in fraternities. Like at other schools, it's like a lot of kids party, and then the kids that go super hard are in fraternities.
Yeah.
But here it's kind of like some kids that party at all are in fraternities type thing.
Yeah. There's just not a whole lot of fraternity presence. Like I'm sure that the frats here would not appreciate me saying that, but like I've not firsthand experienced too much Greek life, and I think that that's where a lot of the craziness comes from.
Yeah.
I guess I've gone to one thing that could be considered a very bad party, which is where some of my music major friends who were several years older than me invited me back to their apartment to play Guitar Hero, which boiled down to me watching a lot of 20-somethings play Guitar Hero. So that was...
Are you sure that was a bad party? I mean, that sounds...
It was like 5 or 6 people. They were treating it like a party. I could have gotten drunk there, but I feel like that would have been too surreal for one afternoon. It was also like 4:30 p.m.
You already thought you were dreaming, so...
Yeah, I encountered one on the street, and he was like, hey, do you want to come to a party at my place? And I was like, sure, where's it at? And then we walked 3 steps, and we're inexplicably at his apartment.
You stepped outside of his apartment and said, hey, you want to come?
Yeah, it seemed to be. Yeah, it was very spur of the moment. But yeah, so not much partying on my end.
Yeah. So if you seek it out, you can find it.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good way to describe it.
Or it'll find you. In your case, it found you.
Yeah, sometimes weirdos will approach you.
It's usually off campus.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no frat houses on campus, so there's nothing too crazy.
Yeah, and there's apartments, but they're all kind of... The apartments here are kind of also like dorms, because you can still pay for them under the dorm
Yeah,
plan,
it's like school-owned apartment.
Yeah, so like you can't really throw parties in them as you could in like apartment like somewhere else. Like so still kind of a dorm.
Yeah, still, yes, more similar to a dorm than an off-campus apartment, but I guess you've got a little bit more freedom, but I don't think anybody's doing anything too crazy in those either.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, yeah.
So the living quarters is what we like to talk about next.
All right, so specifically the ones that I've experienced, like, firsthand, because I know that what we're in is certainly nicer than most.
Yeah, tell them how we got this sweet deal. How about that?
All right, so as I think I mentioned earlier, we're on an arts floor. This is not, like... We weren't put together just by sheer happenstance like most roommates. Me and Kevin are both arts majors, and Harry was part of a language floor and then tried to back out, and for some reason they interpreted that as put me on the arts one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Harry kind of scammed his way on here, but it is kind of a special...
But aren't we happy that he did?
Yeah, no, he's very meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, true.
Nice. Well,
true that.
Yes.
So...
Yeah, please confirm that my statements are true by saying the word true.
True that. But what my question is, what advantages would you say there are to this floor as opposed to other dorms?
I think that the suite setup, because I think that the campus uses the term suite to describe something that's very different from our setup, because we have two fairly spacious, I guess, at least by this campus's standards, fairly spacious living room, or two bedrooms, like living quarters, and there's a living room, like a common area in between them, and we all share a bathroom. So it's a fair amount of space for 4 people, and I think that in other buildings they define a suite as 2 bedrooms that are not at all connected with a bathroom in between them, so there's like no living room, and it's a lot more cramped. So I think that we have a lot more space. We also lucked out to be at the end of a hallway, so there's no real concern about noise or our general tomfoolery. Like, we have been up very late, very loud, with no complaints, so that's nice.
Yes.
I guess also, from the arts perspective, there is more opportunity to like interact with like-minded people, but again, for me, it's all visual arts majors, and there's like 3 other music majors on the floor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd say that we definitely lucked out. There's a lot of the living room has been very fertile ground for us to experiment. It's just full of posters and an inexplicably large TV, courtesy of Harry.
Yes. And going back
and
to...
a Chromecast, courtesy of Kevin.
Oh, yeah. And going back to party scene. Like, and so if we're talking about having fun on campus, right? Party scene could mean that you want to go to parties, or it could just mean what do you do in your free time, right? Like, what do you do to have fun? We could kind of, like,
all right,
switch it off to that. So, like, what if we found... We found a few things, I think, to fill in the spot of not an insanely lively campus.
Australian reality TV has been my main thrust that I've realized. I've really come around on reality TV. I used to be, let's say, too proud to sit down and watch a season of TLC or a Netflix Australian show, but now those have really consumed my heart and mind, so that's been great.
That is actually a genuinely good way to have fun on this campus on the weekends.
That's a good way to just have fun.
All right, well... Why don't you tell us how you feel about the campus?
So there's a severe lack of lighting. I know that makes at least my girlfriend feel very unsafe at times. Not in all parts of the campus. Like, sometimes it seems very inconsistent.
You're talking the stairs, right?
Yeah, the stairs.
Yeah, the stairs are very dark.
Behind the dining hall, there's a large expanse that's just completely dark. So I'd say in terms of the campus itself, that is a problem that could pretty easily be fixed.
There were a few muggings, I think, behind the...
Well,
we almost got mugged.
Can
we tell that story?
Yeah, it's part of the campus life. Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it a mugging, though, but it was very...
It's very odd.
Yeah, not safe, maybe.
I mean,
not good.
Okay, we were all there, right? And we were doing my photo. It was like a photo comic.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, you were doing your superhero thing. Yeah, gotcha.
So I was doing I was making for my VC1 class, which is a Visual Concepts 1. It's just like basic art class. I was making a comic book, but out of pictures. And it was like a superhero. And Harry was playing the superhero. And so we had this like red ski mask on and this like sweatshirt, and like we were just going and taking pictures, and we were doing it as we were walking to the dining hall one night, and it was in this dark area next to the basketball court, which is also right next to the dining hall.
Yeah.
But then we're taking a picture, like, and we're right next to there are a few emergency stoplights on the campus, right? Like, what is it? It's like emergency
blue light.
Yeah,
blue light.
Yeah. There's the lamppost with the blue lights on it that have got buttons that'll patch you through to the police instantly, I think.
Okay, so that means if you're in danger, and I think they put those in the dark locations sometimes on purpose.
Sometimes, not to interrupt your story, but that just to conclude the darkness part. That's not a campus-wide problem, but especially when you're walking from, because like all the academic buildings are consolidated in one corner and all the dorms are consolidated in another. So if you're taking the fastest route, the straight line through the campus, that's when it's a problem.
Yeah.
So overall, not too bad, but there's definitely some spots that need to be fixed in that regard.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So this is one of those dark spots, even though it is on the residential side of campus.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then these guys pull up in this random car as we're taking a picture of Harry, and they park, and they get out of the car. It was like Batman. It was like the goons from the Arkham games.
Yeah, they did look like lower level bad guys.
They did, yeah. And the guy gets out of the car. I don't know why I remember him with a Brooklyn accent, but he goes, "What are you, a superhero or something?"
I think that's your biases. I think that you're a racist.
I think it's because in the Arkham games, all the goons have New York accents.
Yeah, the little blue lights appeared above his head, and you knew when to counter him. Yeah.
But he goes, "Hey, what are you, a superhero or something?" And then we're like, yeah. And then he goes, "Ha ha ha, some kind of superhero." But here's the context that you don't get if you're listening. Harry is 6'4", Tim was standing right next to the emergency light already, and I was standing there with a camera, so I could have clearly taken a picture. And then they go, "Hey, haha, you superhero, give me your wallet." Give me your wallet. And then we thought it was all a joke, but then he started trying to go in for Harry's wallet.
I think he's successful. Like, Harry was wearing a pullover hoodie, and I think that he did put his hands like in your
inside
pocket.
the front pouch. Yeah, he put his hand inside there.
Yeah. See, so he was actually like.
Yeah, that was weird as shit. He was also a really scrawny little dirtbag, and he had parked illegally in order to get to the dining hall at like 10:30. Like, this was a man wearing like a worn denim jacket who looked like he hadn't bathed in several days, going in there to buy chicken tenders. He decided
the definition of a Batman goon.
Yeah, he was trying to fuck with the giant who was being recorded.
And the other kid who was standing next to an emergency post at a button.
We could have called the police.
Taken a picture of him.
Yeah, we could have called the police and presented incriminating video evidence of his crime immediately, within like 10 minutes.
And then the judge would have been like, dude, you were trying to mug a 6'4" dude.
He would have sentenced him to some sort of rehabilitation thing for just sheer idiocy. Spatial awareness courses.
Yeah. So
didn't you like roast the fuck out of his little teammate?
Oh,
also?
yeah.
Oh my god.
I think because his friend was bald.
Yeah.
And his friend was kind of like starting to walk away, so it wasn't really. It was kind of. I don't know if I call it a low blow, but it might have been a little uncalled for to roast his friend. But then he started walking away, and I said, "Yeah, go join Megamind in the dining hall or something like that."
Yeah. That felt like a good send off. Yeah, listen. I'm not a fighting man. Again, it's probably the third time I said it. I'm an old man. I'm a skinny fellow, but I did not feel intimidated by that man at all. I was like very close to laughing in his face.
Well, I think it's also just the situation. Like,
I was like, what the fuck was your game?
Just realize like we're all like I just had the camera. You're right. I just realized like, dude, there's no way you're gonna. What are you trying to do right now? Like,
that would have been a good court case. That was good times. Good times.
But the part to point that out is that just like that. For instance, is a good time to have the emergency right there.
Yeah, no.
Like,
there's not a bad time to have them unless you're
a
criminal.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Shit, it's a bad day to have the emergency now.
We've gotten a lot of complaints about the blue light post from UMBC's criminal community.
Yeah.
No.
There's a club for everything.
There's a good, weird, seedy underground club at UMBC.
Yeah.
The Cat Burglars Association.
The University of Maryland, Baltimore
crime.
Cat Burglars.
Oh yeah. Or that. Like that. Or your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, something with a C.
Perfect time for a club transition. How was your experience with the club? What do you think of the club community at UMBC?
I mean, there's certainly a lot. I think that every single club has got some people that really care about it behind them. So I've got a pretty, again, limited, because I'm already doing a lot of extracurricular music stuff, but I think that they're good options. I wouldn't come into this expecting to get any sort of like any sort of like world-class club experience. Like, you're never going to get like flown overseas as a part of the education club or something.
I already talked about this, but I don't know if I told you, the College Republicans were offering, I think I did, over the Labor Day weekend, they were offering to take people down to North Carolina to campaign for a senator there, and they would pay for your lodging and your food and everything, so...
Well, so if you want to scam some Republicans, come to UMBC.
Or if you are just a Republican and you really like that guy, it's a good opportunity to go get out there for him.
I cannot fathom that I would not campaign for anybody, even if I supported them. And if I was going to do that, it would just to campaign against him secretly. Just because that would be very funny.
So, let's talk about your major for a second.
Okay.
You are a music major.
Yes, I'm a music education specifically.
Specifically music education. Is music education does it usually take more time than a regular music major?
Yeah, so that's kind of cutting right to my main issue with it. And I don't think that this is a UMBC specific problem. I'm sure that people all across the country, at least certainly all across Maryland, because I know that people from College Park and Towson, which are the other two big colleges for that major, complain about the same things, is that it is such a credit-intensive major. I think that at least at UMBC, it's the second most credits of any major.
How many?
It's 145.
Wow.
Dang.
Most majors are 120 for reference, if anybody has not done the math yet, which I guess I hadn't before coming here.
Yeah.
The normal amount in order to come out in 4 years is 120. The only one that surpasses music education is mechanical engineering, which I think has about 150.
Yeah.
So most people come in and have kind of reconciled themselves after the first semester that they're going to have to take a 5th year.
Yeah.
Because the way that music education works is that you have to do a year-long student teaching internship at a school. Like, it could be whatever level you select. You could have
For an
elementary,
entire year?
Yeah, so
Wait, while you're still a student, or
so you don't really have many classes during it. You're still a full-time UMBC student because it's through the school. But the first semester of your last year, you go, I think, once a week to like help out and with the class and get to know the students and everything. And the second semester, you are like the primary classroom teacher.
Wow.
You just go there every day, and then you're the teacher for a semester. I mean, a lot of people drop the major. A lot of people, the stereotype, which I hope to disprove, is that people who started as music education freshmen tend to either switch to music performance or some other sort of like social welfare major.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people switch to social work or just psychology or stuff like that for music education. But so hopefully I'll be one of the music education freshmen that sticks with it. But yeah, the credit load definitely discourages a lot of people right off the bat.
Gotcha.
But if you stick with it, then the school is pretty good from what I've heard about setting you up with that internship. But that is a thing that gets a lot of people kind of trapped into taking a 5th year.
All right. Do you have any events that you'd like to speak about on campus, or?
Okay, well, I feel like a broken record about the music stuff, but that is the bulk of my experience here is through that lens. But there are a lot of really, really cool concerts. I don't also want to sound like an advertisement for UMBC, because it's of course up to your discretion. I'm sure that other colleges are also good about offering that kind of experience. But UMBC offers tons of events that are free to all students, and even more free to specifically music students. So if you are on campus, you can go to our events page and they'll just tell you what's going on. A lot of string quartets, like professional groups, will come to play for free. I know recently more Baltimore Symphony Orchestra musicians, which is like one of the best in the country, have been coming because they're kind of in rough times at the moment financially, so I think they're trying to kind of raise awareness for their cause. There's a lot of student ensembles also, like upperclassmen and especially like student composers will do recitals very frequently. UMBC, this is again, maybe I'm not familiar with other college music programs, but UMBC is super big on contemporary music, like new music, 21st century and like late 20th century stuff, which is weird as shit.
Are you a fan of old or new?
I mean, like, I guess I'd rather sit down and listen to normal classical, but going to I would not appreciate the contemporary music nearly as much if I hadn't seen it performed live.
Okay.
Like on tape, I get very little out of it, but seeing these people do it is really interesting. So I think that's a big benefit the UMBC gives in order to just appreciate music that might kind of sound like nonsense to you at first.
Yeah.
And now for our last thing we're going to talk about, what is the food like here?
That's what we're finishing out on, damn.
We're going to finish out on the food.
I think that the dining hall is definitely the worst option on campus. That being said, I think that there's some pretty decent options. In the Commons building, I know that it's kind of atypical for schools to allow you to use your meal plan at places other than the school's pre-designated dining hall. I don't know how recently they've renovated it in previous years, but this year they just added in 2 brand new restaurants. There's a halal place and a Korean food place.
And Dunkin'.
And a new Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, they replaced the kind of smaller, more off-brand Dunkin' with a genuine Dunkin' in our in the basement of our Commons building now. So that's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're slowly but sure. I mean, there's a lot of we've got like a knockoff knockoff Popeyes and a knockoff Chipotle and a weird knockoff Chinese food place that I think just uses spaghetti noodles as lo mein sometimes. So it's weird, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there's not even really like I was gonna say maybe it takes some getting used to, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I just recommend going there. You get I guess it's not all you can eat, but the stuff that you get is enough for one meal, and you don't have to pay extra for it or anything.
So this has been Tim.
Yes, this has been Tim. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. This has been a very self-reflective hour.
Yes, we hope you enjoyed the Universi-Tea.
Yes, I certainly have.
And spilling your universal tea.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, and on that note, this has been...
Once again, that was Tim, our suite mate. And next up, we have Sam, a friend Harry and I made in Retriever Music Society.
Our last guest.
Sam.
Yes, welcome, Sam. How you doing today?
Oh, dude, real well. How are you guys doing?
That's good. We're great. All right, so we've talked to 2 other people about their experiences at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County so far, and Sam's going to round us off.
He's the last guest we have. Some fun facts about Sam. He's a junior.
That's the funnest fact
Yes.
I've ever heard.
Well, Sam, why don't you
Yeah.
give us some fun facts about yourself?
So I'm friends with Harry,
Yeah.
and I'm friends with Kevin. Oh, I
Where
was
were you born?
Georgia.
Wow.
So if you
yeah.
were born in Georgia, this one's
Wow.
for you.
Yeah.
And if you happen to go to college in Maryland and you're from Georgia, I know it's really specific, but
Yeah.
there you go.
To
This
those
is
people, I
also
just
for
say
you.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
So going off that, why would you say you're sorry to those people?
Getting here is rough.
Oh,
It's far away.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So let's. You've been at UMBC for a minute now. Have you been here since you were a freshman?
Hmm.
Okay. So you've been here 3 years. This is your
Well,
third year,
yeah.
right?
This is
Just
your
about.
third year.
Yeah. Third
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have any years that stick out to you? Like, what was your favorite year so far?
Or maybe semester. I feel like semester is...
Yeah.
Semester's a little bit better.
Yeah.
Last semester? No. First semester sophomore year was probably really good.
Yeah.
That was the best one.
And why do you think that is? Because you liked the classes, or because the flow was nice with homework, or?
It's mostly because UMBC, or now Retriever Music Society, was a club on campus with music and stuff like that. That's when we got our new class of people to come in. So we got people like Harry, our other friend James, our other friend Evan. Got a whole bunch of people come in. It was like new blood, and it was like really cool. We like established ourselves, and we started having like a lot of fun. It was really dope.
Were you guys new before that? Like
No, the club was like 3 years old at that point.
Okay, so it's still building up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so usually we started with some other categories, but I think we should just go ahead and start with clubs then,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
ways to get involved on campus.
Yeah, which I'd say that's kind of student life. So we actually are starting with the same category we usually start with, which is student life. So besides UMB, can you talk to us more about the student life on campus? Like what kids, students, young adults maybe like to do?
Young adults. They
Yeah.
read young adult novels. Is
Yeah.
mostly that's mostly it. Yeah.
That's the demographic they're going for. I
Yeah,
think.
Maze Runner,
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Any movie
Hunger
with
Games?
Yeah,
Noah
Hunger Games.
Centineo?
I mean,
Wow.
dude, I love
They're all
that
young adult
one.
novels.
Yeah, about the Tinder jungle thing.
Right?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one.
I don't know about the jungle.
I mean, I think it was called, the app was called Jungle
Oh,
in
okay.
the movie.
yeah.
Oh, we haven't seen that one yet. We're
Yeah.
actually still waiting to watch that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've
yeah.
seen all the rest of his catalog.
Right.
Amazing.
Oh.
That one, haven't seen.
Haven't
yet.
seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
To all the boys I've ever loved before.
Wow.
One of the greatest movies I saw
that
last year.
was one of the best Noah Centineo movies of.
Well, it's definitely the best Noah Centineo movie.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Which is not a very high bar, but it's still
It's a good movie.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
It slaps.
It slaps?
does slap.
does a dummy
100%.
slap? It dummy slaps?
You know what? Another
Sick.
thing that I've realized is Maryland
Yeah.
does have like slang that like a lot of other states don't have.
Yeah.
Like slaps. I don't know if that is that.
No,
is that
people
you?
say slaps,
People
say slaps?
but people don't say
Pretty-
tough.
What about geek?
It was so weird hearing geek coming here.
Oh,
People are being like, "Yo, that's kind of tough." I'm like, "Well, I'm sure it was hard, but I don't know if it was." No, but they're talking about, "Oh, tough is a good thing," and then like,
Yeah.
"Well, that
Yeah.
geeked me out." Like,
Yeah.
what? What? What?
Or that geek.
Yeah.
Or
what
I'm
the-
geeked.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Or I geek.
I geek.
Yeah.
No.
Or
Present tense.
There's
yeah.
sice, right?
I still don't know what size means.
Dude, I didn't hear that, and I'm from Maryland. He was the
did
first
I?
person I ever heard say that. Yeah.
well, I'm
Sice.
closer to DC, so maybe
Yeah.
that's from DC or something.
I mean, I know what it means when you say it, but
Yeah.
I could never use it. I'm not.
Yeah,
confident
right.
enough with the
So
word
it's
to use
like
it.
this. It's like it can be like sice me some, like give me
Yeah.
some, like
Mhm.
Right.
like let me get some, like yo sice me some bread.
Okay.
Or it's like when you're excited, like yo I'm
sized. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm given, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm donated.
After
Yeah.
you get blood.
Or people say, yo that's the size of my life.
Yeah, like when you do something,
Yeah. Yeah.
like when you cite something. Okay, so how about the student life here?
Anyway, back
Oh,
to
yeah,
UMBC.
right,
Yes,
sick, dude.
yeah.
So what's it
Size.
like? What's it like here besides the UMB Club? Now the
Retriever Music
Retriever
Society.
Music Society.
I don't know. There's a lot of race groups. There's
There
like,
is.
Yeah.
it's like it feels like clubs here aren't like, what are you interested in? For the most part, it's like we're all kind of socially inept. So what group are you the most comfortable being around for an extended period of time? And for a lot of people who don't necessarily have hobbies or personalities, that's just like, well, I'm black, or like I'm Asian, so like let me. For the record, I'm a black guy. Like, I know you guys can't see, I'm black, so I can say anything I want about anyone. So people are like, yeah, I'm black, let me join Black Student Union, or I'm actually African American, let me join whatever that is. I don't remember.
African American Student Union.
Yeah, AASU. Yeah, exactly. So it's just like a bunch of people get into race groups based on like what their cultures are, and then that's like the groups that they run with. So it's like fraternities and sororities, which there are also some on campus, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's get into food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is the food like here? And if you want, give us a ranking. You can give us the worst place to eat on campus and the best.
Okay. First and foremost, I'm going to say if you have the option to not be on the meal plan, don't be on the meal plan. In general, because we contract through this company called Chartwells, and the way the meal plan works is like all of the different meal plans almost cost the exact same amount of money.
Yeah.
And they force you to spend $160 to $200 per week on food, which if you really think about it is way more than you would actually spend on food in like 2 weeks usually, even if you like ate out like a significant amount of times. It's like it's not cost effective.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, but like that's the thing. If you live in a dorm, you have to get a meal plan. A lot of the time, you're required to get a residential meal plan. But if you can get into the apartments, or if you have like a place off campus that you live, don't be on the meal plan, because it's just way more cost effective to just cook for yourself. Or it's just better.
Okay, food. We're done with food.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll get into the real. This is the real's time. Let's get into the party scene here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the party scene?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, constant.
Oh, bro,
Just
I wish I knew.
Tell us about that.
I mean, I hear about parties sometimes, and when I say hear about parties, I mean I hear about parties that are like way off campus. Not like
they
way
all
off campus,
happen
but
off campus. Yeah.
Probably like
Off
15 minutes usually.
Yeah.
Oh, driving.
Driving.
Oh,
that's
which
very important.
We haven't mentioned you can't park on campus freshman year.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You have to
yes.
park in a satellite lot 10 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But sophomore year you're good. So I mean there are parties.
There are
like night like things you could do other than parties. Like as well as parties. You could go to a concert. Like you guys do concerts every once in a while. Like you might just have a concert on Commons Terrace, Quad Fest. Quadmania. That's involved
Fake fan.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't come last year. I was in New York, but you know.
Casual. I was in New York. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it wasn't I was so sad that I couldn't come.
Yeah, we did have Lonely God for all you people out there. All you people who use TikTok or just really hip and with it. Lonely God.
Yeah, that's actually me. I'm Sam.
Sam is
I'm
Lonely
God.
God. Yeah. He's also the Sam from Green Eggs and Ham.
That's also me. Those bars transfer over.
Yeah.
That's why he joined Retriever Music Society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's Dr. Seuss's kid.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so speaking of you were saying you live in the apartments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So living quarters.
Yeah.
What would you say compared to other schools? I don't know if you've seen dorms at other schools very often.
Seen some.
Then like, what could you compare ours to theirs?
I like the apartments a lot. The apartments are really cool. It's a suitable amount of space for 4 people. This is like the terrace and hillside apartments, which is like, so there's levels to the apartments you can have. So there's terrace and hillside, which are basically the same, and then you have West Hill, which is like apartment buildings, and then you have Walker, which is like almost like a real apartment, like what you would expect like to walk into a 4-bedroom real apartment. That's what's in Walker. So I've been in hillside and terrace, and it's a perfect amount of room for 4 people. It's fine. It's really okay. It's cool. As far as dorms go,
do you all get your own rooms in the apartment?
Yeah, you all get your own rooms in the apartments. That's the best part. In terms of dorms, you can't, like if you're in Harbor, you can get your own room in certain suites, but most of them have like the 2-person per room thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what we're in right now.
What we're in right. Well, no, we're in a high class studio right now.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's what we're
Undisclosed
doing.
location.
Yeah, we're not even like on campus. In fact,
Yeah.
yeah, we're in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the center of Baltimore.
Well,
Just
hopefully
kidding.
not.
If you want to come to school here, we're not quite in Baltimore. We're in Baltimore County.
Yes.
It's really close though. It's if you drove there, it'd probably be like 15
Mm-hmm.
minutes to get into the city.
Yeah.
There are buses.
The buses that take you there.
Take you there,
Yeah.
like from the school for free. But they come like once every full moon. Is that right?
Oh.
They come like once every hour, I think.
What would you say of the campus overall?
Overall, really interesting. It's in like a highway circle essentially. So it's off the highway, and then it's in a traffic circle. The whole thing is enclosed, so it's very walkable. The campus, it's extremely bikeable. But the problem is, it's called hillside apartments, hilltop road, hilltop circle, like all this stuff, because it is on a hill, but it's not on the hilltop. It's on like the hillside. So what happens is the entire campus is at a 45-degree angle. So if you're trying to bike or do any extensive like amounts of walking like uphill, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Like just in general, I've biked from UMBC to Baltimore before, which I found out later is not a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm not from here, so I didn't know like West Baltimore was like different from inner Baltimore or outer Baltimore or East Baltimore, which is the ocean or whatever. I don't care. So like, so I biked from campus to West Baltimore, and like it was interesting because all the buildings were like boarded up and closed and condemned and like X's on the windows, and it was like, what's going on here?
How long was the bike ride?
It was like an hour and a half.
Oh my goodness. And was it very hilly or was it?
It started out being very hilly, and then it was like just uphill at a very reasonable rate, and then it was flat. And it was like cool.
Well, that's good to know. So it's not bikeable from here to Baltimore.
Well, I mean, I'll do it again.
Oh,
I
you
just
would?
might die.
Okay, yeah, but there are free buses.
There are free buses, so I
Yeah.
can just not do that.
Yeah.
If I don't want to.
Yeah, but
Like,
biking,
that's
that's
cool.
good exercise.
Yeah, it is good exercise.
So if you're, trying to become a biker, I don't know why you'd come here. I mean, do they have? I don't know. I guess some kids bike, but I don't know if we have a like BMX program or something. I doubt it.
No.
I don't think we do.
No.
Anyway, if you're a biker, you can get some good exercise in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I will say, I'm from Georgia, but I'm from like the suburbs of Atlanta, and the way Georgia works is everything's super spread out. So everything is like 1 mile away from the closest thing.
Yeah.
Just like in general, that's just how, because like they build around nature for the most part instead of like through it. And that's not because they're like eco-friendly. It's just because they don't have a choice in most cases. So there's like a lot of rivers and just impenetrable forests and stuff like that. So one thing I always hated about where I grew up is how far everything, like, so I never learned how to drive. So being in the suburbs of Georgia with like the most broken bikes that I have ever seen in my entire life. I owned both of them. They were like, someone put gum in my bike brakes one time, and I went down. I died essentially. So I'm dead now. But I still had to use that bike to get to school, like for the rest of the time that I lived in Georgia. So it's just like it was really hard trying to get around, like at all, trying to get it to anywhere that was like meaningful at all. And that bummed me out a lot about about living there. So one thing I will say is when you're choosing a college that you want to go to, think about what you hate about where you already are. Because if you don't think about what makes that college different from where you already currently live, then it's gonna be rough, because all the same problems that you dealt with in high school might just come up again in college, which is like it's just like that sometimes.
Yeah. So did you decide to come to UMBC straight from Atlanta, or did you move here earlier?
I came straight.
Oh, okay. So you were. How did you find out about the school then? Like,
I found about one of the scholars programs here, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And I came up to visit, and I was like, this is a very nice campus. It's cool.
okay, cool.
And then I ended up here.
Sweet. And would you say that the problems of Atlanta that you had are gone here?
No,
They're the same.
Same exact ones.
Because everything's kind of far away from here.
Yeah, so like if you don't drive and you're right, like your school's like right off the highway.
Yeah.
It's like, can I bike on the highway? No, you can't bike on the highway. So you got to take the back roads. Back roads take a long time to get to
Yeah.
anywhere you want to go, and then like the campus is on a hill.
Yeah.
So like try to get in Catonsville, which is actually where the hill, like the hilltop,
Yeah.
is Catonsville. It's like that's literally an uphill battle.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good point. That's a good point. So if you're from somewhere that it's hard to get around places because everything's so far, and you don't want to keep doing that, maybe like a big campus that's like immersed in the city, like UMD or
Yes.
something,
Yeah.
is like something that might be interesting.
Yeah.
Here is a closed campus, which some people do prefer because it's like, I don't know. Do you think it feels safer because we're in a closed campus, or do you think it's like, because some people think it feels like dangerous in areas of this campus, which it is in certain parts where it's dark, I think, but like it's probably still not as dangerous as like UMD, like a city type thing.
It's so safe that people like they talk about leaving their stuff just
Oh,
around.
here?
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
They just like they're like, yeah, I'll leave my bike unchained, or I'll just put my backpack with my laptop in it on a seat in the commons, and then I'll come back for it later on. So
That's
it's
a
like
good point.
people talk about that all the time.
Yeah, you're right. Because I often see backpacks at the tables, and I'm like, damn it, they got 5s.
Yeah.
You know, whereas at other places they might be like, ooh,
That's
free
mine.
backpack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, so that's a good point. So it's enclosed campus, hard to get out, but if you don't want to get out of your campus, we got food stuff here. It's decent food stuff.
Hard to get out. What do you mean?
Like hard to, like if you don't drive, it's hard to get off
Okay,
the
yeah.
campus.
Yeah.
And you can bus,
Mhm.
but you know, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people, some people bus a lot.
Yeah.
But you just gotta be aware of the times that it's coming and going. If you don't want to get stuck in Baltimore for another 2 hours, which happened to Harry and I one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that one time we went, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. All right. So why don't we go on to the events here? We were talking earlier a little bit about them, about the events that kind of the Retriever Music Society are involved in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the events that all students can go to? Do you think?
This what are they like here? What are the events like here that happen on campus?
Race group events. I know we say that a lot, but it's because they have a lot of events. There's like a solid 50 to 60% of like any like actual race group on campus is a part of the race club that corresponds to their group on campus. I mean, not white people, because you can't like have a white club, I guess. I don't know.
There was
what
the
that would
guy.
be called.
There was the guy at Towson who had. There was I think it was a white student union at Towson.
WSU?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that guy who, the guy who was the creator of that, he then, when the whole thing happened in Charlottesville,
Mhm.
he was down there kind of inciting stuff too, so. Yeah.
Sick.
Well, we'll tackle Towson in another episode.
Find that guy. Dope.
Yeah.
Gang. No, but yeah, so there's a lot of like cultural events. That's a better way to say it than race group events. There's a lot of cultural events that happen in general.
What events are there on the weekend, and how do you feel about the life on campus on the weekends?
I think life on campus on the weekends gets it's misrepresented a lot of the time, because people think that everyone goes home on the weekends.
Yeah.
And that's certainly true for like freshman year, I'd say. But what people don't understand is that people aren't just like going home on the weekends. People are staying inside on the weekends. Mm-hmm. So it's like people might not be home, but they might just not be leaving because they don't have to leave for class.
Yeah.
So they're just going to stay in like a lot of the time.
Gotcha.
So you're not like knocking on all the people's doors and trying to see like, are they home or whatever. But like most people, not most people, but like way more people stay on campus just staying inside than people realize on the weekends.
Yeah.
They just don't have like a reason to leave. So I think
is
it's
that a
like,
bad thing in itself though, or is that like not having a reason to leave?
So I think the people who stay on campus who don't leave are the people who are involved in fewer groups.
Okay. Yeah.
Overall, because it's like if you're in a sorority, or if you're in like, I don't know, like certain other groups, they're gonna have sometimes some events over the weekend. Like Retriever Music Society has songathons sometimes, which is like a song writing marathon, song producing marathon, or something like that. So I think people just hang out with their friends over the weekends rather than just trying to go anywhere. Or if they go somewhere, it might be like off-campus lunch, off-campus dinner, something like that.
What do you think about though this school for studying wise, like for like doing academic? What's your major?
I'm math econ stat.
Okay, how's that been?
Math, it's been weird because it's like I've got with 3 majors, you don't progress that quickly in any of them.
Yeah.
So I felt in general really behind whenever I'm doing anything, because I just don't know as much as the people with like 1 major, like as much as they know about a subject. I'm just like, I can tell you about matrices if you ask me about supply and demand. I don't know what the. it's slow going. But so I'd say as far as academics go here, so if you're in the STEM fields, you're taken care of for the most part pretty adequately. If you're not in the STEM fields, you might feel kind of neglected in general, because like I'd say the main focus of this university is to push people into STEM grad schools. That's hands down what the school is intended to be doing. That's what the administration thinks about. That's the main goal. Push people into STEM grad schools, and now they've added economics to that. So it's push people into quantitative research-based grad schools.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they even have a plan for any of their fine arts programs, if they have a plan for like their communications, like linguistics kind of programs or history-based things. I don't know what it's like to be like one of those majors, because like the entire weight of the university isn't propelling you forward if you're in one of those other majors. So it's like there could be they could be better supported, in my opinion. And like what the number one thing here that you can gain from being here is there's not a lot of people, but the school has a lot of connections. So there's a lot of opportunities for like summer internships and getting jobs and stuff like that.
There's a job fair.
There's a reverse career fair too, where like you're in a club and then you set up a booth and the people from organizations, they come around.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they give you their information, or they take your information, whatever.
Yes, yeah. This is definitely a good place to go if you're serious or thinking about your future, and you're able to, like, you're definitely able to go to events and meet new people and make those connections. You're right. Like, we might not have a big party scene, but like.
All right, and that's all for the first episode of Universi-Tea. I'd like to thank you for listening and let you know that next episode we're going to University of Maryland, and we'll be interviewing some of our friends there. That's all for now. Till next time, when we'll be spilling the UMD Universi-Tea. Learn how them schools be with Universi-Tea. Tea time with Kevin and Harry.